Donald left his lair at Mar-a-Lago and took a trip up to Chicago. His plan to make a plea for support from the black community. Question number one, jump right in, ask him why blacks should support him. Mr. MAGA went straight to work, demonstrating how to be a jerk. I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. The first question: you don't even say hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network, and I think it's disgraceful. But you know, he also had this to say: Donald, take it away. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. Then Trump talked about Vice President Harris. For this diatribe, he should be embarrassed. She was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn. She became a black person. And I think somebody should look into that too, when you ask and continue in a very hostile, nasty tone. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. This is merely a sample of rudeness very ample. Let's take a look at one more, number 3 of several. For those keeping score, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason, because of the fact that they have bad equipment. Because I guess you know, this woman was unable to get the right equipment, but it's very hard for me to hear you. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country. I have been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. The vice president, in terms of the election, does not have any impact. You're voting for the president, you're voting for me. If you like me, I'm going to win. If you don't like me, I'm not gonna win. There were many other amazing things he said, but it is not worth beating the horse dead. Though it does certainly seem safe to say Abraham Lincoln must be spinning in his grave.